They came as merchants, carrying silk, spices, and silver. But within a century, they would control one of the richest lands on earth. This is the story of how a trading company became the ruler of India, the rise of the East India Company. In the year 1600, Queen Elizabeth I granted a royal charter to the East India Company. Its mission was simple: trade with the East. The company arrived in India seeking spices, cotton, silk, and indigo. Their first major foothold came at Surat, a thriving port on India's west coast. At this stage, the company was completely dependent on the permission of the mighty Mughal Empire.
While the Mughal Empire once stood as a titan, its foundations began to tremble as the 18th century dawned. In its place, a new power was steadily growing, not through conquest, but through commerce. The British, arriving as traders, established key footholds: Fort St. George in Madras, the strategic Bombay Harbour, and Fort William in Calcutta. These ports quickly became bustling centres of trade. Markets teemed with life, and the vibrant textile trade, rich with silks and cottons, flowed back to Europe, fueling British ambitions. But as British influence grew,
Their first major foothold came at Surat, a thriving port on India's west coast. At this stage, the company was completely dependent on the permission of the mighty Mughal Empire. They were traders, not rulers. Over time, the company established trading posts, known as factories, in major coastal cities: Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta. These settlements quickly became fortified centers of commerce. Walls were built, cannons were placed, warehouses turned into miniature strongholds. The East India Company was preparing for something far bigger than trade. By the early 18th century, the Mughal Empire had begun to weaken. Regional kingdoms and nawabs started asserting their independence. The company saw an opportunity. Instead of direct conquest, it used diplomacy, alliances, and bribery. It supported rival claimants, funded conflicts, and inserted itself into local politics. India's political fragmentation became the company's greatest advantage. The turning point came in 1757, the Battle of Plassey. The Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Daulah, moved against the company after tensions rose in Calcutta. In response, Robert Clive led the East India Company's forces. But this battle was won not only by guns, it was won by betrayal. Mir Jafar, one of the Nawab's commanders, secretly sided with the British and refused to fight. Siraj-ud-Daulah was defeated. With that single victory, the company gained control over Bengal, one of the wealthiest regions in the world. After Plassey, the East India Company transformed from a trading enterprise into a political power. It gained the right to collect taxes in Bengal, giving it enormous wealth. This money funded private armies, military campaigns, and expansion across India. The merchants had become rulers. What began as trade ended in empire. The East India Company's foothold in India would eventually shape the course of history for nearly 2 centuries. And it all began with ships, trade, and one decisive betrayal. The real conquest had only just begun. In Part 1, we reveal how one company went from merchants to kings. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss